Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kim and this is Expedition 3 Pages, and this video is going to be all the rules for TBR Trek. So back in January we kicked off this year's round of TBR game, and it is TBR Trek. And I really wanted to put up a video sooner than this, but life got in the way and didn't happen. So better late than never, I hope. We are already 2 months into the game, however there's still time to join because this does usually go on for quite a few months, and so I thought it was worth maybe putting up a rules video, having a bit of a recap about where the teams are currently, and yeah, just explaining it all a little bit because I should have done this back in January. I've also made a rules document as well, so if you wanted to view that you could find that down in the description. So like I said, there is time to sign up for this game as well. Essentially this game is a groups board game. We don't know how many months that's going to be until we start playing, but it's essentially like a snakes and ladder style board game, but in the style of trails, like walking trails. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun every single month. We meet up and we play a live show, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So anyway, keep watching if you're interested, and there are sign-up sheets in the description as well if you are interested. So I wanted to introduce you to the 4 team leaders to start with, actually. So we have 4 different teams. I'm not in a team, I'm like the host, I guess. Somebody said I was like the mother. So if I'm everybody's mum, then that makes my mum everybody's grandmother. So I think we should run with that. My mum is actually one of the heads, so my mum is head of Team Pirates. Mum does have her own channel and I will link that in the description if you wanted to check it out. I think it's Julie the Mum Reads Books. I should know really, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's right. Then we have Team Satyr, and heading up Team Satyr is Amy from A-Star Reads and her cousin Jordan. Now Jordan does have a YouTube channel, but there's no content on it yet. But yeah, I wanted to mention it, so I'll link it down in the description as well in case Jordan ever does want to put up any content. I really hope she does. Jordan's channel is called Caffeinated Chronicles. Then we have Team Gnome, who is headed up by Ruby from Ruby Red. And finally we have Team Dryad, who is headed up by Manny from Reading with Manny. So yeah, those are the team leaders, and if you sign up you don't unfortunately get to choose your team. What happens is, because we like to try and keep the teams as equal as possible, you would sign up and then I would allocate you to the first team that has an opening spot on their team, basically. So we can try and keep the teams as level as possible. There is a team allocation spreadsheet, so once you've signed up I will add you onto that. It's linked in the description, and when you go there you could go to the index, find your name, and then find out what team you're on, and then you've got a list of everybody else on your team as well. There is also a Discord, so if you are on Discord or you're interested in joining Discord, you could join on there, and that is also linked in the description, and in there I will add you to your private team chat. And I did want to say that obviously this game is primarily on YouTube, the live shows on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel, and the majority of the game can be played without Discord. However, there are perks to being in Discord. Number one, you can chat to everyone in there, not just your team, there's also a bigger group chat as well. So if you have friends in different teams, you'll be able to chat in there with them if you wanted to. When there are group decisions that have to be made based on what prompts you get, then there's usually a bigger discussion in the Discord chat before then a poll goes to YouTube. And then during the live show, if we land on one of the challenge squares, then that requires you to post a picture in Discord, because unfortunately I did want to try and find a way to do it on YouTube, but I just don't think it's possible. So yeah, Discord definitely has its perks. So yeah, that is linked in the description as well if you're interested in joining that. And before we finally get onto the rules, I did also want to mention that we do have Team Mascots this year. The lovely Christine from An Autistic Reader wanted to make mascots for the team, because over the last few years when we played different variants of the game, Christine has kind of become the unofficial mascot maker. And so this year she wanted to purposefully do it. And Christine has made some really lovely mascots, which you can actually buy over on Christine's Etsy page, which will be linked down in the description if you wanted to as well. So yeah, thanks to Christine for making those for us, because it's always nice to have mascots back in your team. Okay, so what is TBR Trek? So TBR Trek is a board game that you can play in teams, you could play it on your own, and it looks like this. I'll put a picture up on the screen. And the aim of the game is to get from the top of the trail all the way down to the bottom of the trail before anybody else. The different paths represent different trails down a mountain, and as the teams move down the mountain they will collect prompts along the way. There are different zones on the board, so we have the main path, and that is represented by the purple octagons. Then you have the bear cave. The bear cave is designated by the stone, the stepping stone, and you've got to be careful when you go in the bear cave because there is a bear sleeping and you don't want to wake him up So more on that later, but yeah, just beware of the bear in the bear cave. Then you have the forest, and here you have to trek down a winding path. So it really does add quite a lot of steps to your trail if you end up on the forest. The forest path is represented by the log stepping stone. Then we have the reflection pool. So there's not a lot of ways into the reflection pool, so I don't know how many times the teams are actually going to be able to visit it, if at all, in this game. But basically the reflection pool is represented by the puddles, stepping stones, that's weird, the puddles on the floor. And around the reflection pool there's a lot more question prompts, so it's a place to really question and reflect on our bookish life. I did also want to mention that if you do go to the reflection pool, you do have to move clockwise around the pool in order to get out. No matter how you enter it, you always move clockwise. And then finally you have the bog. So the bog is represented by the mud puddles. With the bog, if you're in the bog, you can move in either direction, but you're only allowed to exit if you land on the exit step. Yeah, you don't want to get stuck in the bog. You don't want to get stuck in the bog. So yeah, like I said, it is a race from the top to the bottom. Obviously, the ideal is just going straight down the main path, but you could be detoured along the way. You also have to watch out for mischievous imps along the way, and also mischievous other teams, because there are things in the game which means the other teams can actually affect how you move around the board as well. We haven't encountered that yet, but I'm sure that that's coming. Okay, so actual gameplay every month. Each month, all the teams will roll a d6, so that's a 6-sided dice, 3 times each. Then you will have 3 reading prompts to read for your team. The type of prompt will depend on what icon you landed on along the way, but I will explain about all the different icons later on in the video. So then each team works on the personalised prompts until the next live show, and we will give deadlines each month so you know exactly when you've got to submit your books by. You submit your points via a Google form, which I will make new every single month. Just give me a couple of days after the original live show in order to make it. And then usually deadlines are the Saturday before the next live show, because live shows are always on a Sunday. And all prompts, no matter what they are worth 2 points. So there are some very hard prompts on the board, which may mean you have to read more than one book for that prompt, but you will still only gain 2 points for it, because that's what makes it really, really hard. A player on a team can only complete each prompt once, and you're not allowed to use DNFs, unfortunately. So DNF means did not finish. And the reason why I don't count DNFs is because always, just throughout my whole game, I've always allowed you to use any book that you finished within the time scale. So if you finish a book during the submission period, then you can submit it. Even if you only had 10 pages left of that read, you're allowed to submit it. And I made that rule for myself right back years ago when I started making TBR games, just because I feel like sometimes it's really hard to finish books, even if you really want to, even if you've only got 10 pages left. If you put it down and you keep meaning to finish it, sometimes you need that extra push just to actually finish it, which is why I wanted the incentive of finishing books and why I don't allow DNFs. Because I don't want to allow DNFs and only having to read 10 pages, because that just makes it too easy, I think. So the submission period will always be as soon as you hear the prompt in the live show up until when we give you the deadline. That's this submission period. So like I said, you get 2 points for every prompt that you finish, and the team that ends up with the most points is the winner of that month. And what you win each month will change, but it will come in the form of a coin to use in the game. So I will talk about coins a bit later in more depth, but essentially these coins allow you to do special things in the game, so using them at the right times should hopefully help you progress in the game. So gaining these coins is definitely an advantage, I would say. So just for an example, for the month of March, whoever wins during the month of March will win 2 coins for their team. They will win a silver block coin and they will win a silver boost coin as well. So there's those 2 coins up for grabs, and like I said, I'll explain exactly what they mean later in the video. You will be able to collect some coins during actual gameplay as well, but they won't be as good as these ones. They were to start with, but there was discussion in the team leader chat, and we decided that the best coins should only be able to be won by the winners, because then that gives teams a lot more advantage if they actually win a month. Coins are added to your team inventory and you are able to use them at any time unless told otherwise. Some coins you can't use at any time, you have to use them at specific times, but I will explain that as we play the game. Since each team only collects 3 prompts each month, that means the majority of the time you're only reading 3 books in a month, which I know people like a bigger challenge sometimes. And so because of that, for this year, I have added a mid-month challenge for those readers who really like the extra challenge, basically. This mid-month challenge will change every single month. So for the month of February, we did the Olympic challenge, which was really fun. So teams had to read books written by authors from the different countries participating in the Olympics, and then based on where the countries came in the medals table would equal the amount of points that they would gain. This month we're celebrating Women's History Month, and so teams are reading books written by female authors over different decades. A player can read basically as many books as they want, but it is constrained. So for instance, for this month, a player could read 10 books, but they would have to be published in different decades, for instance. And then the team that win the mid-month challenge will gain 10 points to add to their overall month score. So you don't win a lot of points with this, but this is more for players who really want to try and read a lot more books and try and engage in a separate, more intense competition, if you know what I mean. There is also a bronze hindrance coin up for grabs for this month's mid-month challenge as well, just because you may not win the overall game by gaining those 10 points, but you will win something for sure. So that's why I added that in this time. So yeah, that's kind of the main overall look at the game. You can participate in as much of it or as little of it as you want. If you didn't want to do the mid-month challenge, that's absolutely fine. If you have a month where you're just in a massive reading slump and you can only get 1 book done, that's absolutely fine. Because all the teams are equal, like anything you can contribute will count for good, basically. So don't worry about it if you're having a particularly bad month. Just crack back on the next month and just do as much as you can, obviously. Okay, so before we move on to the prompts, I just want to tell you about the coins because I have mentioned them quite a lot. So I'm going to tell you what each of the coins do now. Okay, so first up we have the gold block coin. So the gold block coin allows you to block any gameplay prompt that is used on you by another team or one that you pick yourself. And that will become clear when we know what gameplay prompts are. Essentially, it's just something that could happen to you in the game. It could move you around the board or anything like that. If you don't want that to happen, as soon as you find out what that thing is, you can play your golden coin and say, I don't want that to happen, stop it, basically. There is a silver block coin as well, which isn't as powerful, but it does mean that you can use the silver block coin on any of your own gameplay prompts that your team pulls. With both the gold and the silver block coin, you can use it once you know what the gameplay prompt is going to do to you. But if you choose to follow what the gameplay prompt does and it moves you somewhere else on the board, and then you don't like that prompt, you can't use it then, it's too late. So you can only use it when you find out what the gameplay prompt is actually going to do to you. If it moves you, you land on a group prompt, you don't want that, it's kind of too late to use the block coin at that point. Then we have the silver boost coin. The silver boost coin allows you to roll 2 6-sided dice on a roll instead of just 1. So you essentially could move 12 spaces instead of the maximum of 6, obviously. 6 plus 6. I didn't need to say that, but anyway. Your team has to choose to use this coin before you roll. So you can't kind of cast the spell after you've already rolled 1 coin to split into 2. If you know what I mean, you have to decide which turn you're going to use it on and then roll 2 6-sided dice then. Then we have the bronze boost coin, and this adds 1 step to one of your rolls. So it gives you an extra step on the board. You can use this on any one of your turns, but you have to either say before you roll that you're going to use it then, or as soon as you roll and you find out where you've landed, if you want to use it then to move you 1 step forward, you can. However, if you have already moved and you've already heard what that prompt is, you can't use it then. So you can't use it in hindsight. You have to say before you roll or literally just after you roll. Like, if you're about to land on a very hard prompt and you don't want to land on that, you can use it then. But if you've landed on the very hard prompt and you've heard the prompt, it's too late to use it then. There is the hindrance coin, which is taken off a step from one of your opponents. So you can't use it on yourself, you have to use it on another team. And the same applies for this. So you can declare before another team rolls that you're going to use the hindrance coin on them, or you can declare it as soon as they've rolled. So again, kind of similar to the boost coin, if the team rolls and you don't want them to land on the step that you see they're about to land on, you have to very quickly say, I'm using my hindrance coin. We're using our hindrance coin because as soon as the team moves and hears that prompt, it's too late to do it then. So yeah, it has to be declared quickly. So obviously, depending on what's going on in the game, may decide if you are considering using a hindrance coin or not. So yeah, just bear that in mind though. You have to make the decision quick. And then finally, we have the morph coin. So the morph coin can be used to turn any very hard prompt into a free pick. So this is quite a good one. You can use this coin before or after hearing the very hard prompt that you've landed on. However, this is an important note. There is a bear prompt. You may not use it if you wake the bear. So yeah, there is the bear prompt. It does lead you to having to pick a very hard prompt, but you're not allowed to use the morph coin on the bear prompt. It's too late. You've woken the bear. There's no chance to get that coin out your bag and use it. And yeah, that is it as it stands at the moment. There will be extra coins made during the game, I'm sure. There's a good one that Ruby's invented for the next prize in the next month, which I won't mention here, but will be added. And as we go, if there are any coins made, then I will add them to the rules sheet as well, so you can find out what they mean if you're not sure. I do want to mention here as well, you can't use multiple coins on a go. So you can't use 2 boost coins on one turn. You can't like build them up and then use them all together. You have to use 1 coin per turn. And yeah, that's the coins. Okay, so let's talk about the icons. First up, we have the question icon. So teams will go head to head to see who can answer 1 question first. So this will just be in the chat. It's not on Discord. It's just 1 question, so 1 time only. Okay, so the question is, what is the New York Times #1 spot for the 100 best books of the 21st century? This was from 2024.
Oh.
What is the New York Times #1 spot for the 100 best books of the 21st century in 2024? That's a really hard question.
2024.
Oh, we've already got the right answer. Hang on, we've got some right answers going on here. It's not James.
Yeah.
That was my guess.
We've got Nana. 1 first, my brilliant friend. Well done, Dryads. Okay, so here, as you could see, with the question icon, the teams have to go head to head and answer a question. The rules for this are the team who lands on the question step has to choose their ally. So if you land on a question step, your team chooses its ally, and then your ally will play alongside you and play for you. And that means that the other 2 teams are playing against you. So questions are answered in the chat during the live show. And the first person to answer the question correctly in the chat, if they are on your team or your ally's team, then that means that you get a free pick. If the person who answers the question correctly is on one of the opposing teams, then that means that we will spin the wheel to find out if you have to do a regular prompt, a group prompt, or a very hard prompt. So when thinking about your allies, you have to choose carefully, because are the players on that other team going to actively try and win for you or not? Because they may sit back and not want to answer because they don't want you to get a free pick. So try and work out which team is actually going to back you or not. The challenge icon. Okay, so who's going to back the Dryads and try and win a bronze coin, or who wants to go against them and try and make the Dryads have a very hard prompt? Oh, they want to go against. The pirates want to go against.
Ooh. I think we're backing them, it looks like.
It's the cousins against the losers, it seems. No. Okay, so we've got Team Satyr and Team Dryad together versus the Gnomes and the pirates. Okay, so that's what's going on here. Let's find out what the challenge is. So you have to draw your team mascot as fast as you can. Doesn't have to be good. Doesn't have to be good. Just a quick drawing.
What do I do with it? Oh,
I got nothing to draw with.
Oh, I think we've got.
It's a tree.
Do we accept Liana's? I mean, it's quick.
That's not the mascot.
It's not the mascot. Ruby is quick.
How do you get a picture of it already so quickly? Jeez,
I was ready.
I know that was even before I'd gone onto the app. This was Liana was first, but she drew the tree. Ruby won because she drew the little gnome.
Yeah, definitely. Oh God.
Oh my gosh, does that mean you guys get a really hard prompt? We've got So as you can see, the challenge icon is pretty similar to the question icon in that the teams have to go head to head. However, there is a difference here in how you pick your teams. So in this case, the team that lands on the challenge icon doesn't get to pick their ally. The opposing teams have to choose if they want to play for the other team or against the other team. And so yeah, there's different outcomes to this. So if the team who landed on the challenge spot wins the challenge, then they win a free pick. However, if one of the teams that are backing that team win, then the play-in team wins a free pick and the team that answered the question correctly win a bronze boost coin. However, if a team fighting against you wins, then your team would have to spin the very hard prompt wheel. And the fighting team's prize is that they get to see you suffer, essentially. There always has to be at least one team fighting against the original team. It can't be that everybody's backing them, so it's just first come, first serve, essentially, in this one. And whoever says they want to back them first will get to back them. If a team lands on this challenge square, then that is when we use the Discord server, because all the challenges will lead to you having to take a picture of something and post it in the activities chat in the Discord. So the activities chat is within the mead in section of the Discord. The mead in I made to be like a kind of pub where everybody meets and gathers. I don't know, bit random, but yeah, the mead in, and then within the mead in the activities section is where you have to post your picture first. So yeah, this one is a lot of fun and can be very chaotic when it comes up. Next up, we have the activity icon. So the activity icon, nobody's landed on yet, so I can't show you gameplay of that because there is no gameplay of that yet. But essentially, if a team lands on the activity square, then they will receive a prompt to read a book and an activity that matches it. The prompts icon.
Regular.
I don't know if you can see my screen or not.
Oh.
Read a book set in a holiday destination.
Okay.
Where Manny is right now.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I guess is most places, because most places can be a holiday destination. So if you land on the prompts icon, then you get just a regular prompt, which is nice. These do vary in difficulty, but usually they're pretty forgiving. The very hard prompt icon.
True.
Okay, so very hard prompt.
And doesn't somebody else have a prompt that they don't do till the end?
We
Yeah.
That's right.
give us prompts.
You give us prompts.
Oh, that's right. We give you prompts. Oh.
I'm always going to remove
We are
prompts.
not doing
We
the
don't get
alphabet one.
places.
Oh my god. No.
Oh no!
Is this my diabolical one?
This is the diabolical one.
No! This is so cruel. Spencer,
Really?
you have to...
Read the last chapter of a book first, then read the book.
Perfect.
So as you can see, for this, you do receive a very hard prompt, and they can be very hard. Next up, we have the group prompt.
Somebody said, Marcella said, can you explain what group prompt meant again?
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so this group prompt is make an alphabetical chain using titles, at least 10 in a row. Basically, what this means is you have to work together to make a chain of the alphabet. So if you started from A, you'd have to go to whatever letter is number 10. So if you work between yourselves and make sure that there is someone covering A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, or you could do any part of the alphabet. So
the book has to start in that, the title has to start with that letter.
So it can't be a blank each time.
Right.
in that chain, yeah. And I guess what I'll do is I'll make a spreadsheet that I can share that people who don't have Discord can see, and then you can write your names in there maybe of like who's doing what. So people on YouTube only can see who's doing what prompt. Anybody can do it. So it's not just like 10 people can do it. So you could have 3 people reading for the letter B, and you would all get points for reading that. But you just have to make sure by the submission date that you have a chain of at least 10 in a row. So you still just submit under your own name, essentially. You don't have to submit in order or anything like that. Yeah, I didn't realize that Wonderful had this, because I was like, I've come up with this brilliant idea of group prompts, and Manny's like, yeah, no, they did that in Wonderful. So I'm sorry, Lizzie.
Yeah, we were traumatized.
I didn't realize. So when a team lands on the group prompt, that means that you have to work together to meet the criteria of the prompt. So hopefully with the example that you just saw, it makes sense. For that group challenge, the Dryad team had to create a chain of book titles that start with 10 consecutive letters of the alphabet. Once the criteria of the prompt has been met, then that means that teams are free to read any letter of the alphabet. In this instance, obviously it will change depending on what the prompt is. You just have to make sure that you complete the criteria in order to gain the 2 points for your team. If a team has a group prompt and they don't meet the criteria, then that means that for that prompt, everyone who has fulfilled that prompt will only gain 1 point each instead of 2 points each. So it's quite a difference if you don't manage to do it. There will be a spreadsheet that is made and put up on the Discord initially. Usually the team leaders will make this themselves, and then I will share to YouTube. So for instance, if it was the alphabet challenge and you had a book that started with B, you would write your name down next to B. And then when you finished it, you would let them know on the spreadsheet that you finished it and you've submitted it, so that everybody in your team knows that that has been done. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, I think. Okay, the gameplay prompt. You see a glow coming from inside a tree trunk. You go to the door and a ferret wizard leads you into his grotto. He asks, "Be you good or be you bad?" You decide. Be you good or be you
Ooh.
All
bad?
right, Natalie, this is you. You're up.
We be good. Come on.
Natalie gonna decide. He is.
Oh.
You have to let freebie slip in spots. Is he cute?
Good question.
No.
Would Norbert really be
Yeah.
bad? Come on.
We got some more bad. There were some more bads.
There are some bads.
You guys
I
want
feel like there's more
trouble.
good though.
Oh my
I think
god.
there's more good.
Did you
Yeah.
type bad in, Andy?
For now.
Okay, good. He waves his wand above his head and grants a bronze boost coin to the team of your choice. So you're being good. You're giving away your goodness.
What?
Thank you.
You are good, Natalie.
I've got my hand out.
Wow.
So as you can see, that was just one example of a gameplay prompt, but like I've said previous in the video, the gameplay prompt essentially can do anything. It can move you around the board, it can allow you to gain coins, it allows you to steal prompts from another team. So we did have that once where one team got to steal a prompt from another team and give them one of their prompts, which was quite fun. So yeah, it can do anything that will affect gameplay essentially. And finally, we have reached the bear icon. So if you land on the bear icon, you have woken up the bear. This is highly unlikely because it is just one step in the whole board. However, if you do wake the bear, you're in trouble. The bear is not happy, he is angry, and he comes for you. If you land on the bear stepping stone, then your team will be given a very hard prompt. And this is similar to the group prompts in that you have to have at least 10 people complete the very hard prompt. However, in this case, if you don't have 10 people that complete the very hard prompt, then your whole team loses all the points that they would gain for this prompt. So it's high stakes. The bear is angry. 10 people aren't too many, so hopefully it's doable. Obviously, it depends on what the very hard prompt is as to how difficult it is. So yeah, hopefully if you wake the bear, you don't get given an extremely very hard prompt. That could come up. Anyway, so you don't want to wake the bear. We want to leave him nice and sleepy in his cave and not wake him up, essentially. So yeah, that is all the icons on the board, and that is pretty much how the game works. I just want to talk quickly about the live show and the small rules we have there. Because there are 4 teams and there are 30 odd people on each team, it's hard to remember who's on what team, especially because this isn't the first iteration of a game, so people have switched teams and are now on different teams than they were before, so it's a bit confusing. So because of that, if you attend the live show and you want to write a comment, especially a comment that affects gameplay, we ask that you include a little emoji that represents what team you're on. So the pirates use the pirate flag, the satyrs use the goat, the gnomes use the mushroom, and the dryads use a tree. So yeah, just if you're coming in the live chat, especially if you're voting or anything like that, use your team emoji. The other thing is that we do ask for volunteers in a live show to help us count any results from polls that we have during the live show. There's no poll feature that I can do on StreamYard, which is what I use to stream. So when we have a poll-like question, we have to count through the comments in the chat. And so it's very helpful to have somebody on each team that keeps track of their own team's polls, so we know exactly how many have voted for which thing. And yeah, that's basically it. That's basically the rules for the live show. Not many. I guess the other thing I could mention for the live show is just watch out for my mum, who does like to cheat. So if you see the pirate icon moving around the board unsanctioned, then bring that to my attention, because I'm usually so caught up in what is going on that I lose track of what my mum's getting up to. Okay, so just to end the video, I just wanted to run over where the teams are right now, because we've played 2 rounds of the game so far. We've done 2 months worth of gameplay. So I just wanted to get everyone up to speed on where we ended the last live show and what's going on with the teams. So in case anyone new wants to join the ranks, you know exactly where your team is and what's going on. Okay, so first up, let's start with Team Pirate. So Team Pirates have actually just escaped the forest. They've just moved across, and they're on the purple main path. And so in the next game, they are in a good position to move quickly down the board. I don't want to jinx them, but they are in a good position to move quickly down the board. But yeah, they look in a fairly good position right now. And in their bag, they currently have a silver block coin. Team Satyr. Okay, I'm really sorry if I've changed the way I've said that team name throughout this video, but I'm still so confused on how to say it, and it won't stay in my brain. But Team Satyr, they have almost finished their journey in the forest. They are right here on the board, and the last prompt that they landed on was actually a very hard prompt, and they used one of their morph coins in order to change that into a free pick. So they did have 3 coins in their bag, but now they are left with 1 silver block coin and 1 bronze boost coin as well. And then we have Team Gnome, and they are on the exact same square as Team Satyr, so they're in joint position with them right now. They unfortunately did do the very hard prompt for that one. In the Gnomes team bag, they currently have a gold block coin, which is quite good. And then finally, we have the poor Dryads, who have had quite a tough ride the last couple of live shows, I'm not gonna lie. They got caught up in the bear cave. There was danger of them waking the bear. Luckily they didn't. They've now escaped. They've only just got out of the bear cave, and they are on the purple path now. And yeah, so things are hopefully looking up for the Dryads. And in their team bag, they have 1 gold block coin and 1 bronze morph coin. And yeah, so that is the inventory for the teams as it stands now. I do want to remind you that we are playing for this month the silver block coin and the silver boost coin as well, so that's up for grabs for the main winner. And then for the mid-month challenge, there's also a bronze hindrance coin that's up for grabs as well. Okay, so finally we have reached the end of this video. If you have any questions, or if I haven't mentioned something that you'd like to know, then please do leave a question down in the comments and I will get to it as soon as possible. All links to everything will be down in the description. So we have the sign up sheet if you wanted to sign up, we have the team allocation sheet, we have this month's 2 submission sheets, 1 for the main prompts, 1 for the mid-month challenge. I will add the link to the Discord down below, and also links to the team group prompts this month as well, because there are 5 group prompts going at the moment for the different teams. The submission deadline for both the mid-month challenge and the main prompts will be Saturday the 28th of March at noon BST. The next live show is going to be on Amy's channel, so that is A Star Reads. So when Amy has made that link, I will of course share that with you guys as well. I will leave down to a time zone converter as well if you want to convert it to your own time. I will also set an event on Discord as well, so that should automatically convert it to your time zone, so you can go onto the event and see what time it is in your time zone. I did also want to mention that I have decided to make a coffee account, so if anybody did want to support my channel in any way, then I will link that down below. Of course, there's no expectation for anybody to do that, but I have made one now anyway, so I will link that down in the comments if you're at all interested, along with all the other links, because there's like a million links down there right now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that I've enticed some of you to want to join in with the game, and yeah, that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care everyone, bye.
When do us pirates start?
Yeah, you're gonna start in a sec. Wait mum, wait mum. Okay, cool, go on then mum, it's your turn.
Hey! Ah, you're kidding me.
Do you know what mum told me? Do you know what she told me when I said to her, oh, you get to roll the 3D dice? She was like, oh no, but I found a hack with the other way to do it that makes it always roll higher.
No.
Oh my god.
Can you believe that? Absolutely livid.
That is
That's
incredible.
not true, and that's not what I said.
What's happening, mum?
I'm just moving around.
You need
6.
to
Can I go there?
Julie.
Can I go there?
Why
No.
are you there?
That's okay, isn't it?
No.
No.
Why?
Give me your right. I'll move you. There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
What am I doing over
Trying
there?
to jump in.
Can you keep an eye on your mother?
Right, what's happening?
Has made some unauthorized moves.
Oh
You
my
know
god.
what? That's it. You're banned from moving your piece. I'm going to change it. Settings.
I don't
You can move
I
it.
warned you about that.
Save changes. That's it. You can think about what you've done.